I cheer you up, but never on your good days. I wasn't worth that much. You told me I was special, but not enough to make you stay. I guess you couldn't settle with somebody like me. My self-esteem has reached a new all-time low. At least you accomplished something, yeah. Before you, I was doing good on my own. If only I just hadn't been so wrong. How can I have been so stupid, so naive? Wish I did, but little did I know. Why have I been wasting all my energy? Wish I did, but little did I know that you were gonna chase me, get me, leave me just to move on. That I was gonna like you, love you, need you just to end up alone. How can I have been so stupid, so naive? Wish I did, but little did I know. I can't forget goodbye. Yeah, the sound that woke me up. A text at 7:45, yeah, saying we were done. If I could laugh now, I would laugh about it good, but it's gonna take time. I need to cry you out. Oh, yeah. My self-esteem has reached a new all-time low. At least you accomplished something, yeah. Before you, I was doing good on my own. If only I just hadn't been so wrong. No, 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 no. How can I have been so stupid, so naive? Wish I did, but little did I know. Why have I been wasting all my energy? Wish I did, but little did I know that you were gonna chase me, get me, leave me just to move on. That I was gonna like you, love you, need you just to end up alone. How can I have been so stupid, so naive? Wish I did, but little did I know.
It's electric when you kiss me. Never felt this way before.
Alright, g'day ladies and gentlemen, Legends of High Sky, welcome back to the little plane that could the world tour here in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So today we're going to be completing the second part of the leg that I wasn't able to complete a couple of days ago due to absolutely being destroyed by hay fever symptoms. You may or may not be able to still hear it in my voice. May sound a little bit congested. Don't worry, I'm not underwater and I'm not drowning, I promise. In case that wasn't obvious, the room is not full of water. But I figured I'd, just settle that one before anybody starts getting concerned. I will also try and mute the microphone if I do need to clear the throat, cough, etc., etc. So, Mexico City to Acapulco, Acapulco being the original Riviera from the 50s and the 60s, so I guess you could say we're almost going back in time here, even though we're not, we're flying there in a modern turboprop aircraft, but yeah. I'd obviously like to say a massive g'day and a shout out to the main man himself, Zach's Gaming Lab. G'day mate, welcome to the stream, hope you are doing very, very well. We're going to be a little bit low-ish on the numbers here as Oz Flight Sim is finishing up. I'm assuming. I don't actually know. I left that stream a little bit of time ago to set up for this one. Anyway, enough about that. So, Zach, mate, I hope you are doing well. It has been a while since I have chatted to you. Those of you who are interested in jumping in, the flight plan is available within the Discord. All the details are available just above in the chat. If you have only just jumped in, chuck in an exclamation mark flight plan and you will get a link to the Discord and all the various details and bits and pieces that you could ever want about this evening's flight. So, without further ado, if I can find my cursor, which screen is it on? It's always a bit of a game of which screen have I put the mouse cursor on today. Well, if it allows me, there we go. I was going to say, please let me remove the yoke visibility. It will. So we're going to put the battery and the alternator on, and we're going to also get that fuel pumping if it actually... There we go. No, I don't want throttle. I would like the propeller. I would like mixture. And then, there we go. Right, so, famous last words are, that should be everything. Always make sure I turn the park brake on before turning the aircraft on. Also, Zach and anybody else who's watching, because I can see that there's a few of you there, but none of you have popped up in the chat and said g'day. Just let me know how the sounds are. How's the music? How's the sim? How's my voice? Obviously, you'll have certain things that you do want to hear and don't want to hear. Maybe I can suggest muting the voice. It would be a much better experience for all of you. Why hasn't my GPS and all that turned on? Probably because I need to turn on my avionics master switch. That would be that would be a good idea is what I'm going for. I guess you could say I'm not a avionics master, if you know what I mean. Put the music down a bit. Yeah, can do, Zach. Can do. There we go. Actually, that even sounds a little bit better on my end as well. So it's probably a combination of both. So here at Mexico Airport, we are 7,300 feet above sea level. So performance is probably not going to be great. But the good news is we've got a massive runway here. So I'm going to stop stalling, even though I'm not actually stalling and falling out of the sky. We're still on the ground. And we're going to try and start it and hope that all is well that ends well. One successful muting achieved. Alright, so we'll put some lights in and we'll put some flaps in. And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, that we are all ready to go. We'll figure out what runway is the active in a moment. I just realised I need to turn on my virtual flight transmitter and also Volanta before I go any further so that I'm actually logging what's going on. It's also interesting that we're going to be, for the second time here in Mexico. We're going to be pushed out from a GA area with one of these massive push trucks that's designed to push out massive airliners. Now, I don't know about you, but I find that is a little bit weird. Quite hilarious as well to watch because the propeller and all that's already going. So basically we're just going to churn the hell out of whoever's sitting in that cabin into little bits and pieces. But the good news is then dinner is available for anyone. We just need to find a way to cook it. Nothing like a bit of cannibalism to start a flight, you know. Supposedly it tastes like pork. I don't know, and I don't want to know. This is what I've heard. Alright, let's back her up. I was going to say it's turning the wrong way to begin with, so that's good. The tyres move on the truck for the turning, but the wheels don't. So the tyres actually come off of the wheel, if you can see that. That looks very realistic. Well done, Microsoft Flight Simulator. You've done a brilliant job of that. Animation, you really, really have. I'm assuming everything is good now with the voice and the music there. Zach, or anybody else who happens to be hanging out. Yes. Park your thing in the wings of my aircraft. Very good, very good. Alright, so we've got a 5-knot wind at 286. So if you'll, I'm just going to jump over to little nav map and figure out what runway we are going to be using here. I mean, we only have a choice of 2. So it's either going to be 5 or it's going to be 23. So it looks like 23 left and 23 right are the actives today. However, with a 5-knot wind, it doesn't really matter. I am going to choose to do the right thing. I can probably stop being pushed back now. So if I'm not mistaken, yeah, that seems realistic. We've got a Jetstar A320 at Mexico City. I didn't realise that Jetstar had started serving Mexico. So I believe it's all the way down that way towards the control tower is where we are looking to go. So we've got a bit of a taxi involved to get this one going. Maybe it's an Uber. Who knows, really? Depends what app we use. So I'm going to start moving us along and chat whilst we go, as opposed to sitting here and doing not much. Just make sure I am going in the correct direction. I am move out of the way ground vehicle. Ground vehicles that are just driving around the airport with no care or thought in the world for any of the aircraft that might be taxiing around. I mean, it's basically a death wish, really. Right, so we might just pop back to the outside view for this. So there's a bit of a haze appearing here over Mexico City. It is early morning, I believe, here in Mexico, around just before 8 a.m. if I am... Okay, we've just come to a stop. Yeah, around 8 a.m. I believe it is in Mexico this morning, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I'm sure it's 8 a.m. every morning in Mexico, but right now is what I mean. Close to 8 a.m. Geez, I couldn't have made that sound any more difficult if I bloody tried. This aircraft just doesn't seem very happy to taxi here at the airports here within the sim in Mexico. I had the same problem when we were at Miramar, Tampico as well. It just sort of seemed to get bogged on the taxiways at random points without actually touching the throttle or anything like that. Very weird. Gowan says, does that mean the DA-40 was the little plane that couldn't? No. It's every single plane that we feature in this Gowan is the little plane that could. The DA-40 was the original little plane that it could. This is the second one. By the end of this world adventure, which at this rate is going to take 10 years because I've now decided to be employed, God knows what number of aircraft we will have flown by the end of it. But Gowan, mate, welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing very, very well. We have Jack B49 in his Cessna Grand Caravan. He has just rotated off the runway here at Mexico City. He's not with us and he has nothing really to do with us, I believe, and he probably has no idea who I am and likewise, but nonetheless, he's worth acknowledging. A fellow simmer, a fellow lover of this flight sim. Lot of Jetstar A320s here at Mexico. Obviously, Qantas has gone ahead and made a Jetstar Mexico. I can only assume that they are frequenting the flights over to Cancun and places like that. Gowan is trying to get Train Sim World downloaded so he can't fly online. Really? Train Sim World, hey? Is that one of the ones that's included in like the Game Pass subscriptions and all that, or is that one of the ones you actually have to purchase outright on something like Steam or Epic Games or places like that? I was just thinking that we may not actually need the whole runway here, to be honest. It is only a Trinidad TB21GT. It's not as if we're taking off in an Airbus A380. So what I might do is not this turn off, but the next one, I might just pull onto the runway and go for it. Because, I mean... Alright, let's put it in the cockpit so we actually know what we're doing here and don't end up at another airport. I mean, not that I don't think that's possible during taxiing, but you never know. I have some interesting skills sometimes in the sim, and when things go awry, they go awry. Luckily, that doesn't occur too often. So, I just need to figure out what we're going to be taking off out over Walmart and Home Depot, in case anyone can spot them, which you probably won't be able to. It is takeoff time, Zach. I'm just glad that I'm taking off in the aircraft and not, taking off my clothes or something. That would be a very different type of stream, probably not allowed on YouTube. Twitch, however, well, just about anything's allowed on Twitch. Alright, full power. Let's burn all that fuel, get that fuel flow right up. Let's also keep it on the runway. Slightly important. Jeez, she's bouncy. Right. We used more runway than I expected, but that's because I forgot in my attempts to just get up in the air that we are actually at 7,300 feet above sea level. I should have probably gone a little bit further down, but that's alright, we're up in the air, nobody's died, and I haven't hit any of the buildings on takeoff, so we're good, we're good. Yeah, exactly, Garland. Take off to the Great White North. Even though I think we're actually going south. But anyway. The beautiful sights of Mexico City below us. Not that we can see too much of it because I'm still sitting here in the cockpit making sure that we've got enough altitude to not fall out of the sky and meet our maker with one of those buildings. So we need at least 12,000 feet in altitude today, so I'm going to go with 13 just for safety. if it lets me. There we go, that's better. We'll go up at 400 feet a minute. We will bring in that flaps. And we will adjust some propeller and some mixture to bring her back down to 2500 RPMs. Or just under 2500 RPMs. There we go. Alright, cool. Now, so, Gowan says, you want some fun? Try and take off from Mexico City with a GB with a full load of fuel. Yeah, I can understand why that would be questionable. I mean, I think personally, Gowan, I think my favourite takeoff so far within all the streams that have been done across my channel, Shane's channel, Jacko's channel, Brett's channel, Wes's channel, the whole crew, is Wes trying to take a fully laden DC-6 off at Bolivia, I think that was whatever the main airport there in Bolivia is called. It just escapes my mind right now. With engine damage turned on, yeah, okay, that could be quite difficult. Going. I think the only thing going for us here at Mexico is the large displaced thresholds at both ends. You could technically cheat and jump onto the displaced threshold and utilize that as well. Zach has shared a cool picture in the Discord. I'm assuming he means the Discord. It's in Anything Goes. Let's have a squiz. Is that in Minecraft, Zach? Yeah, nice. That's pretty cool. I agree with you. When you said I'm going to put something cool in the Discord, I agree with you. That is very, very cool. Alright, so let's... what? Oh, okay, cool. I was like, what is my plane doing? But no, it's doing what it needs to do. Should follow the GPS in a moment. Let's just make sure that it will. Yes, it will. All good. So at the moment we're flying across some sort of bodies of water. I can only assume it's... my mouse will actually... It is the Nabo Carrillo. I'm assuming that this whole complex is Texaco. That's what it looks like anyway. Because Texaco is somewhere there. So I'm assuming that they have access to all this. And then we have the outskirts of Mexico City over there. I'm hoping we're going to be making a right-hand turn in a moment once we get to... So we're currently on the ILS as such, even though we're not landing, we're going in the opposite direction. So I can only hope that once it gets to the end of the ILS that we're actually going to turn onto our flight plan here. Otherwise, yeah, there we go. Cool. There's always that moment of doubt in your brain when stuff like that doesn't occur when you think it's going to, and you're like, oh, okay, did I enter everything correctly? Did I load the flight plan up correctly? You start questioning everything. You start going, am I really my parents' son? No, obviously you don't quite go that far. So this flight plan takes us back in towards Mexico City, but I'm assuming it's just because we need to get a bit of altitude that it's doing this. Anyway, I'm way over analysing the flight plan that has been entered into a simulation on a PC. But there you go, that's my brain for you. So, Zach, Garwin, mate, all of the other people who are here watching as well, who still haven't said a word. Hi, hello, we don't bite, I promise. You can jump in the chat and you can join us, it's all good. But to specifically, as I said, Zach and Garwin and anyone else who is here, for those who may not, those who will not be named, how are you all? How's everything? How's your weekends been? Oh, hang on. So Garwin's putting some cool Minecraft shit in the Discord as well. Oh, come on, Garwin. That's so good, man. I knew you played a lot of Minecraft. I didn't think you were quite that good at it. That's amazing. Do you mind if I show that Ferrari and that towers to my nephew, who's an avid fan of Minecraft? I reckon he'd get a good kick out of that, seeing that. Garwin's dealing with a sick doggo. Oh, that's no good, mate. That's no good. I hope they are okay. Zach says he's had a great month on YouTube. That's good, mate. Last time I checked, you had like 1.15k subscribers. I'll be honest, I haven't checked probably in a couple of months though, so you're probably going to, throw a number at me that's going to send me backwards off my chair. 1.8k, hey! Very nice. Now you're almost knocking on the door of the 2k subscribers there, Zach. What are you going to do for your 2k celebration? You've got to do something. Just, play the, worst case scenario, you can always play the song. Celebrate good times, come on. Yeah, anyway, I've been DJ Bryce. Garwin, you are chasing me down. You're already at 133 subscribers. I was saying to Jacko a couple of nights ago in the Discord, I really got to put my gearbox back into gear because, bloody hell, I'm at 300 and he's at 800 and something already. And he's only been doing it for 9 months. I mean, okay, I did, for the last 12 months basically haven't done it to any sort of degree, but you want motivation, just look at Jacko's subscriber numbers. That really gets you, woo. Hey, X-Plays, he says, hi, I haven't seen you in months. Yep, no, everyone hasn't seen me in months. I remember you with 150 subs and now you've returned. Can I ask what this plane is? You absolutely can. Jeez, it's been a while since I had 150 subs. That would have been like this time last year. Crossplays, X-Plays. I can't remember what I called you back in those days. I apologise. That's really, really bad on my behalf. This plane is the Trinidad TB21GT by Lionheart Creations. It is available in the marketplace as well as from Lionheart's website, I believe. Great little aircraft. Really cheap as well. I think it was like 15 USD. So, recommended. Really recommended. If you are looking for a nice GA plane to fly. It's quick, it's got a decent range, it's got retractable landing gear. You can get it in and out of any sort of runway or surface or whatever, so yeah. So Zach says his 2k subscriber celebration is going to be, picture this, a face reveal of him eating cheese. See, well, that's cheesy, I must say. It is very cheesy, very Buddha of you. Hopefully you don't end that stream feeling blue. And I mean, you know, maybe I can get Aaron to join that stream. Aaron is a person who watches quite a few of the channels that Oz Flight Simmer has basically unknowingly created. And he likes feet, so I'm hoping that if we can get him involved, then at least your stream won't lactose, you know? This is true, Garwin. I do understand that. I mean, I'm not trying to chase his numbers, but I'm just sort of like, okay, cool, right, if he's getting that sort, I really should get back into this, you know, kind of thing. Obviously, I know we appeal to different crowds. Is there any way to get the DC Designs Concorde? That was painful, Darwin. It made you cheddar. No worries, I got you here. I personally thought it was really, really great. Metas says, g'day, Metas, how you going, mate? Welcome to the stream, hope you are doing well. I mean, I know you are doing well, because I was sitting in the Discord with you not half an hour ago, but welcome everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, Metas has got himself a new headset that he's extremely chuffed about, and fair enough. To come back to your question, X-Plays, I'm not 100% sure, but I know that people within the sim have got a Concorde, so one definitely exists, but that's all I know. Not very helpful, I know. Most of this year I have spent working. In fact, I haven't streamed regularly in 9 months. Realistically, I have not streamed on a regular basis in 9 months. Very sporadically. Maybe 10 or 15 streams for the whole year. That also means I haven't really spent much time within the sim, and then recently I was overseas. So, unfortunately, I'm probably not the right person to ask, mate. Muppet Yoda is here. He says, evening, mate. G'day, Muppet Yoda, mate. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. William, yeah, no, I get what you're saying, William. At the same time, it's only a case of an old FSX aircraft, which a lot of people have already brought versions into the sim, so it's a bit of a different scenario, but I get what you're saying, mate. I get what you're saying, and if it wasn't an aircraft that people had already been playing with, I'd be like, yeah, that's a bit, you know. But yeah, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't, if there's not much that I say does. But that's part of the entertainment, so. I think you'll be fine cross-plays or X-plays, but first piece of advice I would give is just see if there's some YouTube videos. In fact, I know there's YouTube videos out there. 2 seconds, let me remind myself on what the command is. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Cross-plays. On this channel that I'm about to put in the chat, if I can actually spell it correctly, on that channel, you will find that he has done a whole stream series and video series with the Concorde in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. He'll probably be able to give you the best direction towards one that works well and isn't going to cause issues for your sim or your PC. Now, I know I said I'm not the one to try and help you, but it turns out that I had a brainwave and a light bulb all at the same time. It was a very, very big rush of information. I'm pretty sure my head nearly exploded, and there you go. Now you've got some information that you need. And Brett Plays himself is an incredibly cool guy, very much involved in the simming community. Does Minecraft as well. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hint, hint. As Zach has just popped in and said, "Cool guy." Yeah, well, obviously. And another person that I need to throw into the chat is the main man himself.
Hail to the king, baby.
Garwin. So Garwin has, in fact, in the last, now correct me if I'm wrong on this, Garwin, in the last 6 months, begun his own streaming journey as well on YouTube. And he's already managed to accumulate 133 subscribers, and I've sat in a few of his streams when I was overseas, and I have to say, does an incredible job. So if you haven't jumped in and given Garwin some love yet, make sure that you hit that link and just say, g'day. Alright, so as we pass through the clouds here, so we are already at cruising altitude. So cruising altitude has us sitting in the clouds. I'm hoping the weather stays okay. Oh, that's a much better viewpoint. So we've got what appears to be a volcano over there. Common Sense Gaming says, Ace Up Aussie, I have missed your streams, how are ya? Pretty good, mate, pretty good. Considering, honestly, yeah. Can't complain. How are you going? It has certainly been a while. I was just saying to the guys, I've probably done maybe less than 15 streams for the whole of 2022. But we've got 3 months left to go in 2022, and it's time to hit that ground running hard. So we're going to try and get 2 or 3 done at least per week for the rest of the year. Now, I know I've said stuff like that before and then completely flaked. The difference is I don't have a head chef position right now holding me down, if that makes sense. And removing all my spare time. Oh, you do doggo shorts as well, do you, Garwin? Now you see, there's an idea now that I've got 2 absolutely insane doggos here. Interesting. Common Sense, you're going good. How far are you in the flight? You might join. So I've only taken off 20 minutes ago, I think, something like that. I'll pop the nearest code in the chat for you, if that works. So you could do MMU or Mike. Oh my god, I'm having a brain fart on what you... Uniform. How the hell did I not remember that? That is so bad. Yeah, Mike Uniform Kilo. Or you've got Mike Charlie Bravo, or you've got Mike 09, or you've got Mike Tango Hotel. All within 5 nautical miles of my general area right now. Zach's Gaming Lab, how is that Thailand Wi-Fi, by the way? Nuts. Completely nuts. The fact that I was in a condo in an old building on the 8th floor. This was in Chiang Mai. And I was getting 200 and something up and 200 and something down. And the building had 10 levels, and each level had about 30 or 40 condos on it. Mind-blowing how they can still achieve all those crazy speeds whilst there's so many people in the same general area. And then in Bangkok, it was just stupid. Like, I didn't bother doing a speed test in Bangkok, but it was just, yeah, ridiculous. How long will the stream be tonight? It's a school night, so yep. So I think the total flying time is about 90 minutes, give or take, Common Sense. However, I probably screwed around at the start for about 15-20 minutes, so probably got about another hour 15 or so, I think. Don't quote me on that. I know you're over in the west though, so times are a little bit more kind to you. It's only 9:15 over there, whereas here we're 45 minutes from midnight. Yeah, I know, Zach. The speeds mind-blowing. Thailand has the 3rd fastest internet speeds in the world, only bettered by Singapore and Chile. So, yeah. Have I tried the Dark Star? I have tried the Dark Star. I flew the Dark Star around with Big Jacko's Gaming and Fozzie and a couple of the others when it was first released. Not my favourite aircraft. Really, some weird controls. Some weird controls. But Zach says it's 5 p.m. for him. Where are you at the moment, Zach? It wouldn't be 5 p.m. in the UK, would it? Or am I just not up with my time zones? No, definitely, he's definitely not in the UK, is our man Zach, that's for sure. $3 p.m. in Slovakia. Is that where you're from, Crossplays? You're from Slovakia? That's awesome. That is cool. Are you near to Bratislava at all? Or, I mean, not that it really matters. Yeah, Zach's definitely not in the UK. We can 100% confirm that Zach is not in the UK. Slovakia, not Slovenia. Yes, there's a different. I believe there is a difference between Bratislava and Ljubljana. Super near Bratislava. Yeah, nice. I was going to say, if it wasn't Bratislava, is it Kosice? Is that how you say it, Kosice? I can. Some Aussies would pronounce it Kosice. So that's I believe that is our destination over there. Acapulco, the original Riviera. The scenery is getting bloody nice, I must say. Zach says, let's just say I'm on the west edge of Asia. I'm going to take a wild guess, Zach, and mate, you don't have to answer this question because there is no requirement for everyone within chat to know where you are in the world, but I'm going to take a wild guess, Zach, and say that you are probably in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, that sort of part of the world. Judging by your time zone being 6 hours behind, let me just actually check the time in those areas before I make a complete fool of myself. That would be a yes, sir. It is currently 5 p.m. in that part of the world. What can I say, Zach? I'm a man of skills. Gowan thinks you're in Upper Tupper Ticonderoga. Sure. No worries, Gowan. That's exactly where Zach is. 100%. How is it, Zach? How is the UAE? How is Dubai? It's very much on my list of places to travel. It's obviously on the slightly more expensive side than, say, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Philippines, etc. But, you know, if you're just opening the sim now, common sense, I will give you a new airport code once you get closer to loading up a flight. Hot, yes. It would be hot. It's currently summer there, if I'm not mistaken. Which I believe means that it's probably 45 every day. It's like Australia, but not in Australia. I think that's probably the best way I've heard anyone ever explain the summer weather in the UAE and that part of the world, the Middle East. It's like Australia, but not Australia. Yes, it is. Share many things in common, we do, with our extreme amount of dirt. But I would definitely not be looking to travel there in their summertime. That's for sure. I would be looking to escape the Australian summers and go somewhere slightly cooler. And what's the first choice? The Middle East. Not exactly what most people would choose as their first choice if they're looking to holiday somewhere cooler. But as we've already discovered, I'm a little bit fucked up, you know? It's like travelling, travelling to Thailand and Malaysia and Singapore last month. It's in the height of the wet season. Now, I must say, it didn't rain too much for what it was. Mainly evening times, once the sun goes down, you get the late evening thunderstorms around 9, 10 p.m. So it wasn't so much of a thing. You could still get activities done during the day and all that. But when you tell people that you've gone to Asia in wet season, they look at you like you've got a third head. I mean, I probably do have a third head. It's just probably stored somewhere in my neck. I don't know. Zenon says, I only travel in winter. Do you even know what winter is over there in your part of the world? I mean, I know you've lived in a few countries in the world, so you've obviously experienced winter, etc., etc. But, I mean, winter in Asia is just wet season. No, hang on, that's summer, isn't it? It depends what side of the equator you're on. Where does the equator run through again? It runs through just above Singapore, doesn't it? Or just below Singapore. One of those. I'm sure you'll correct me in the chat anyway. I need to be corrected. Garwin says, I wish I could travel more in winter. I travel a ton in summer. Garwin, if for us Australians, if we want to travel in winter and we want to go places that give a winter vibe without travelling to Europe or Canada, New Zealand, the South Island of New Zealand, anywhere below Christchurch in the height of winter is going to be fucking cold, and there's probably going to be snow. Very true, Garland, very true. So, Zenon, do you spend 6 months and 6 months? Is that what you're saying? Your AC is on 16 because it won't go to 15. You're insane. My the ACs when I was in Thailand, mate, I didn't let them drop below about 22, 23 because otherwise your tits fall off because they're frozen. New Zealand, where's that on the map? Look to the east of Australia and south and you'll see a little strip of land that some fucking idiot went, yeah, that looks like we could turn that into a country, it's big enough. And then that same idiot went to the Pacific Islands and just went, yeah, that little pocket of 3 by 3 kilometre volcanic land, let's settle a whole country on there. Oh, I see. I thought you were saying that you spend 6 months in Australia, 6 months in Taiwan. I was going to be like, dream. That is a dream. Right, so let's focus a little bit back on what we are currently flying over. And the answer to that is not much, just a lot of mountainous terrain and scenery and forests and gorges and valleys, and because it's very gorgeous. And water and all that sort of stuff that you see when you're flying along and look down below. Alright, now that we've got that out of the way, we can turn our focus back to the in-chat conversation. 34 and 80% humidity sounds absolutely lovely, Zenon. I can understand why you've got your AC down at 16. That's rough. Yeah. So in the time that I was away, the 4 weeks that I was away, or the 3 weeks, or whatever the hell it was too short, whatever it was. I I only experienced anything of 34 degrees and above twice. Once was in Singapore, once was in Malaysia. Once I got to Thailand, everything was sort of normal. And same with Philippines, everything was sort of normal temperature-wise. I say normal, it was still high 20s, low 30s, but it wasn't like, you know, you didn't walk outside and just sort of become part of the pavement in a slush and then have to get a 7-Eleven slushy machine and try and, you know, rejuvenate yourself. Common Sense says nearly in the sim, his old Discord got deleted as they found out it. Oh, that sucks, mate. Yeah, okay. No worries, mate. Enjoy your shower. Don't, just try not to drown, yeah? Okay? That's the only thing I ask. Slightly morbid, I know, but, you know, you've got to make sure that everybody looks out for themselves. So this really is, like, I'm looking at this on a little nav map right now. We really are flying over some of the more very, very remote parts here of Mexico, and you can see, like, it would be very hard to inhabit the land down here. It looks like there's just a lot of farmlands. This is the kind of area that you would want to bring your plane for a scenic flight, and lo and behold, here we are with a plane and a scenic flight. Who'd have known? But I am looking at little nav map, which you can probably see right now on the webcam, and there really isn't much population-wise between here and Acapulco, which is not exactly a problem. It's not a problem. It's just more of an observation on my behalf, and I just find it a little bit interesting that I call it a valley. It's not really a valley because it's not all joined together, but a stretch of land between Mexico City, the biggest city in Mexico, and Acapulco, one of the most popular tourist locations within Mexico. And there's no major residencies sort of in between. How do people travel? By plane, obviously. So I mean, Zenon, other than having to chisel yourself off the concrete when you walked outside, good day? I'm going to return in 2 seconds here, guys. I just need to... it's getting difficult to talk now. The sinuses are getting so clogged up. That's way too much information for you, I know. But now you've received it, I can't take it back. I do apologise. Back in a couple of minutes, and I'll probably sound like I haven't spent the last 46 years smoking 500 cigarettes per day. Alright, that is so much better. I do not feel like I'm underwater anymore. So Zach says, everybody spam May Day. But Zach, it's September. May was months ago. What are you talking about? Lost me cursor again. There we go. Found it. Because the cursor is the sickest. Only Australians will probably get that reference. Which is probably not a great thing, seeing as I think the only Australian currently in the chat, he's only a semi-Australian, is Xenon. Xenon, I must say, I mean, I know you've spelt it differently, and I don't know if Xenon is actually your real life name, but whenever I see your name, I always think of headlights, and I don't know why. Wait, I do know why, but yeah. I'm sure you've heard that one before. Probably just rolling your eyes at me right now, being like, this guy. Oh, okay, somebody's reacted to something. Let's see. So this is a pretty spectacular part of the world. It's just a shame that little nav map won't really tell me anything about it. It just sort of says, like, currently we're flying over San Francisco, supposedly. I feel like that's a bit of bullshit. This doesn't look anything like San Francisco. I don't see a Golden Gate Bridge. I don't see anything. I mean, I do see water. And I do see a very small town down there to our left. It's your real name and you're bright. Yes, very bright. 42,000K or whatever those Xenon headlights are. Oh yeah, you could be Xenon like the Element. That's very true, actually, Zach. You could be Xenon like the Element. Geez, if you had VR right now, you would be partying. This would be a great part of the world to fly in VR. Xenon, call him that, he likes it. Isn't that how Americans say Xenon? Like as in the headlight or the element? A bit of xenon. Definitely sounds like something that he would like, Garwin. Absolutely. I mean, the fact that you had to reiterate to me that he really, really likes it tells me straight away that he must just, you know, sort of, you say that and he's just like, Garwin, don't go there. Zach's Gaming Lab says, oh my god, what? What did I miss, Zach? By the way, Legends, thank you for the 12 likes as well. Really appreciate that. Really, really appreciate that. Especially for a stream that was so spontaneous. I mean, I only set this up, I think, like... I mean, I told Calling Pigeon I was going to do it about 5 hours ago, but I only really made the, you know, conscious and certain decision to do it a couple of hours before I decided to go live. So, appreciate that. Ongoing joke with the whole Garwin thing. Yeah, I can see that now. Xenon and Garwin. Zach says, you know the plane wings, good flamacage. Yeah, I love to use things that are a good flamacage, especially, you know, yeah. That's one that can go down in the history books. You know the plane wings use a good camouflage with the sky, so I thought that the wings were gone. Yeah, that's a slight issue if the wings fall off mid-flight. Zach, I must say, that really, really is an issue. I'm glad it was just a mirage caused by the weather that we're flying through and it didn't actually occur, because otherwise there might be a little bit of screaming and panicking involved, you know? Garwin says, fly faster, I go live in 30 minutes. I must say, trying to stream these days is like trying to insert yourself between traffic in New Delhi and Mumbai. It's just, you know, oh look, there's a small gap, I'm going to take that. And if you don't take it in that split second, you miss out on it for another 500 years, you know? I'm not complaining. I think it's amazing that so many people stream, but bloody hell, I'm going to have to move countries or move to the other side of Australia just to find a stream slot that meets both my criteria of actually getting some sleep and everybody being able to watch. No, all good. Like maybe going, but let me. So because I have just come back and gone back to work, let me establish a few weeks back at work first to figure out what my rostering is like and what days off I'm going to get and blah blah blah, all that. Because I may not be getting Mondays off on a regular basis. It could just be this week, which means it's only this week I'm streaming on a Sunday. But I know you're more than happy to work with me. I legitimately was just stirring the pot. And I genuinely think that it is amazing that it is that difficult to find a slot to stream that is not already occupied by one of the other very good streamers that's within this community. So, yeah. Just wanted to reiterate that I think that is spectacular. And, you know, at the end of last year, I was one of the regular, guys who would stream, and I'd worked out my slots and everything was sort of working with what I had going on in life. And, you know, it was other people's jobs, the newbies' jobs, to come in and sort of fill the gaps and all that and establish their... Now I'm the newbie. I'm the one who's coming back in. I've got to make my way through the maze, you know? Yeah. Oh, today's your VR stream, is it going? I definitely know what I'm going to be tuning into once I finish this stream. Xenon. So, we've recovered the files, but they're all corrupt. So now, we've found a program that fixes corrupt files, but you have to have files from the same device or the same save location as the corrupted files, which I have. So we're going to put those files that I have into the program, direct it to the corrupted files, use that program to uncorrupt the files, check them all, and then we're going to put those files on a hard drive and we're going to do a fresh install of Windows. And lesson learnt, guys, even if you're back, like I'm backing things up, I was backing things up off my phone onto my laptop, deleting them off my phone once I started to run out of space, which happened about a week and a half in, because obviously my phone records in 4K. And then I was putting the stuff onto the laptop. I had a folder. Next time, I'll be putting the stuff onto the laptop, onto an external hard drive, and into the cloud. I have a Google Drive. I honestly don't know why I didn't take advantage of the crazy fast internet speeds every evening whilst I slept and just got it to auto back up to my cloud. I don't know why I didn't do that. It's an amateur move on my behalf. This is the first time I've done vlogging. These are the things you learn. It's an expensive way to learn, but I've now learned, you know? The only ones you won't change are Tuesday and Thursday. Others are all flexible. Yeah, no, that's all good going. All good, mate. Yeah, so the hard drive and everything is all good. It's an SSD. It's just, as the bloke said to me, he's like, Windows sometimes has a bit of a, meltdown if you're moving around a lot and using the PC regularly, which I was. And he's like, it's very likely that the Windows update was downloaded in the Philippines or Singapore according to the specifications for that particular part of the world. Based on that time zone, probably things were downloaded. If it was downloaded in the Philippines, things were probably downloaded in Tagalog and all that. And when I've gone to install the update on that evening that I got home, back home, when I shut the laptop down, it's just shit itself because it's gone. Nothing on here is Tagalog. The time zone doesn't match correctly. Things, this doesn't match, that doesn't meet up with each other, etc., etc., etc. I didn't know that that was a thing. So it's not a common thing, but supposedly it is a thing. Sometimes with Windows Update, it just has a complete meltdown, corrupts all your files, you can't access anything. The only way to do it is data recovery. Yeah. So, lesson learned. Backup, 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 and backup, but always put your backups in the cloud. It's cost me $500 to learn that lesson, but now I know. And any future blogging and stuff from here on out. Anyway, enough. That was a very, very, very long-winded, drawn-out way to answer a question there for you, Xenon. You already knew all this stuff, but I felt like, explaining it again just to... I don't even know why, but there you go. I guess because when you explain something vocally, you can get the point across of what's actually going on in a much better way. Who knows? Anyway, so we are now supposedly at our top of descent. I call bullshit, simply because I don't know if you've looked around at the terrain, but if we start descending now, the last thing we're probably going to see is one of the tops of one of these mountains that's just ahead of us because it's only a few thousand feet below us. Acapulco is at 11 feet above sea level, so when it does come time to descend, I get the feeling it's going to be a descent into madness, quite literally, to lose the 13,000 feet that we need to lose. Also, things have got incredibly bumpy all of a sudden, I must say. Yeah, I mean, going, that's an extreme scenario, what you've just said there. And really, I am incredibly sorry that happened on top of, in such a difficult time in one's life, stuff like that makes me feel lucky that it's only a $500 mistake that I've made, And it was a mistake beyond my control, but it's a mistake that could have also been avoided. But one day I do hope to, like what you've just said, have my own server. Wow, yeah, that really is rough going. That is rough. At least I know that my data still exists somewhere on that solid state drive and can be uncorrupted with a few bits and pieces. Hi, I obviously can't pronounce your name, but hi, g'day, welcome to the stream, hope you are doing well. I will pop your name into Google Translate and I'll see if I can actually figure out what it is.
I like to do to her? Something I call a dirty fuzzy.
I don't think that Google Translate knows how to translate your name there, sir, because it has told me that your name is Inductive Laptop. However, Yugan Vidyan maybe is more like it. I don't know. So Xenon, I just copied and pasted their name into Google Translate and then said translate to English. Not a problem, Garwin. All good. Understand. Fozzie is here. He says exclamation mark Fozzie. Of course he does. Alright, so I can see the end of the mountainous terrain about to come up here. So what we're going to do is we are going to lose some altitude. So we need to come down to about 2,500 feet, I believe, to get ourselves in a good position to intercept the ILS, the glide slope, whatever you want to refer to it, even though we're not going to be using the ILS or the glide slope. But yeah, I will come back to the chat in 2 seconds, just getting the aircraft in a position for descent. I feel like we need to go down a little bit more hectic, bro, at this what do we got? 28 nautical miles and 13,000 feet to lose. Yeah, so yeah. Gowan says now if Microsoft Flight Simulator would only reboot that fast. Yes, this is true. Okay, so it's a common thing then, Xenon, is what you're saying, to sort of have different names. But as I said, Yugan Bian is what was written under the Chinese characters in English. So I'm assuming that's the actual name. And I'm assuming if I put yours in, Xenon, it would probably say something similar? Okay, I think Google Translate is broken because Xenon, it says yours is Lulilong. So from now on, Xenon, to me you will be known as Lu Lilong. Alright, so we're going to go for 1,000 feet per minute. Now, the active runway here at Acapulco looks like runway 10, so we are going to have to make a right-hand turn. Lawley Long. Okay, so is it a broken translation, or is that actually pretty bang on from Google Translate? Because it's got L-O-U Lee Long. That's why I was saying Luli Long. Pretty spectacular part of the world here in Mexico, I must say. Honestly, Xenon, I'm surprised that Google Translate was that good at translating that. If it was able to get it that close, based just on Chinese characters direct to English or is it referred to as Chinese characters or Mandarin characters? Because I know that you have simplified and traditional Chinese and Cantonese and all that. Are they all done with same characters, or Here, this is opening a whole new can of worms, 22 nautical miles from the airport. Probably take longer to explain it than it will for me to land, but traditional Chinese. Okay, so that might be part of the problem because it's trying to translate from simplified Chinese into English. No, that didn't change anything. Okay, cool. Common Sense Gaming, I'll be honest with you, mate. I'm actually on descent for arrival at the airport already. We made some a lot quicker time than what Microsoft Flight Simulator told me. It told me this would be a 90-minute flight. Pass. Yes, pass my general pucking around. God, anybody would think I'm fucking drunk with the way I speak on these streams sometimes. I promise you I'm not. I'm just Australian. We don't understand the ability of constructing more than a few sentences of English together in one go without at least slurring or destroying half of the words in the process. I mean, the good news is, Common Sense Gaming, is that Garwin's about to go live streaming the sim in VR. So if... Where the hell is my cursor gone? There. So if that's something you're keen in checking out, I've just dropped his link in the chat.
Hail to the king, baby.
Alright, so I'm now going to set myself up for runway 10 here at... Okay, that's actually going quite well. I'm surprised. It's going in the correct direction and everything. Hello? I don't know if I might fly with him actually, seeing as I've got the sim still open. Jacko might be streaming. I don't think he is. I mean, unless he's put together a spontaneous stream in the last few minutes, few hours, whatever it's been, couple of hours. Yeah, unless he's thrown that together, I don't think. Garland says, only chat I will have it is in voice. In Discord, the one that is supposed to stream to the headset crashes my computer to reboot. Yeah, okay, that's not exactly ideal, is it, Garland? But that's cool, mate. Absolutely. Make sure to plug yourself in my chat. I absolutely will, Garland. I absolutely will. Discus glider, no flight plan. Okay, that actually sounds quite cool. I might even just come and sit at the airport and jump up in the drone and maybe just grab some drone footage. And another thing I can do for you, Garwin, if you would like, is I can let you know in the Discord what people are saying in the YouTube chat, if anything, like what Brett had when he did his VR stream that first time. That's definitely something I could do as well. I could also be your tow plane, absolutely. So at the moment, I cannot see a sweet fuck all. You still have to figure out the whole tow plane thing. I mean, I haven't even played with gliders yet within the sim, so If somebody says to me, hey, be my tow plane, I'll just be like, yeah, no worries, sure, cool. How? You don't want to, you fail enough. Yeah. I'm talking to the right person there when it comes to doing things with streaming, Garwin. Does Garwin really want to know what people say? I mean, maybe he does. Common sense, I don't quite understand why. Like, I get that you're young and, you know, there's potentially issues with things that might be within the channel that he doesn't want people who are under the age of 18 to see. I get all that. But his streams are pretty family friendly. And I don't know. Anyway. I'm not going to stand here and defend you against Shane or Shane against you or whatever. Clearly he had his reasons. I'm a little confused by it. That's all. Oscar35282 says, hello, I'm new, Oscar. Hello to you too. Welcome to the stream, mate. Hope you are doing well. I'm just trying to avoid flying into a mountain here right now. Yeah, I don't know either, mate. The best advice I can give you is ask him. If you've still got the ability to contact him, ask him. Worst thing he can do is ignore you. I don't know. Alright, let's try not to, so I've probably, in hindsight, probably descended a little too quickly. As I said, I'm going to descend into madness, and sure enough, madness was descended into. Darwin says it's his first Sunday flight and first VR one. Might not be anyone there to chat. Well, I guess that is another potential problem that you're going to have there as well, Darwin. That is very true. Oscar says, I played Stormworks not long time ago and got hit by a tsunami. So what is Stormworks, Oscar, if I may ask? I mean, it's already got a bomb-ass name, so it sounds like it could be something quite cool. Is it sort of like City Skylines but for natural disasters? Is that what... Common Sense says, I'm saving up for VR. Any ideas as to what the best budget VR headset is for me? $400 budget. Again, I'm not really too versed in VR. However, I believe, don't quote me on this, Common Sense, I believe that the best entry-level VR headset is Oculus Rift, maybe? It's from Oculus. I don't know if it meets the $400 budget, but Oculus is probably your best bet. If what Garwin said is in your budget, take his advice. Even better, take Xenon's advice if you can. It's like a Coast Guard game. And you got hit by a tsunami. Whoops. Yeah, that would have been a slightly rough experience. Literally, a rough experience. Did you wave as it went past, though? Sorry, that was a terrible joke. Oscar has a VR and he has a Quest. There you go. Oh, really, Garwin? It's inside. So, seeing as the conversation has now switched to VR, when it comes time for me to enter the VR sphere, which will happen probably in the next 6 months or so, don't hold me to that because it is an expensive outlay. $1,500 would probably be my budget. Is that the kind of thing that I can get a Vive Cosmos with? Because if it is, now we're talking. Alright, so it looks like it might be time here for me to take Manuel control of the aircraft. Don't worry, it's not like Manuel from Faulty Towers. Xenon has a Reverb G2, which I've heard nothing but great things about. And Gowan says, yes, it is the kind of thing that I could get in my budget. Awesome. Speaking of tracking, I've just realised again I did not put my head tracking track IR on for this flight, so it means that even though I've got a general idea of where the airport runway is, I can't turn my head to see. So well done to me. Xenon says, ¿Qué pasa? I don't know, just remember half the shit that comes out of my mouth I don't even understand, Xenon, so there you go. Vive is about 800. This Stormworks that you speak of, Oscar, it sounds very, very interesting, and I'm going to do a little bit more research into it once I've landed here at Acapulco. Very curious. Especially seeing as you've said you've been hit by a tsunami, and does it support VR? Because if it supports VR, that's going to tempt me even more, because that's kind of a prerequisite I'm taking with games and stuff I'm purchasing nowadays, is if it's got VR support or it's going to have VR support or whatever. Obviously that's the way of the future. Alright, gear down. Oh, Manuel always said care. Right. Understand. Of course you can, common sense. Yeah, of course. There is multiplayer. Okay, that's still not a bad thing, Oscar. Why did I change my name from JSAG to JSA? Because when I was working... Okay, that was weird. I thought we were going to get a CTD right here on approach. I was going to be like, don't you dare. When I was working full-time as a head chef for most of this year, Common Sense Gaming, I did it in the hope of I might be able to do some more content just other than games. You know, throw some cooking in there, throw some car stuff in there, some real life aviation stuff, vlogs, all that sort of stuff. Which is meant to be happening once I recover all my vlog footage. Yeah, why not? Let me check out the game first, Oscar. Let me make sure it's actually something I would dig, but it certainly sounds like it would be. Yeah, Xenon, it's funny you say that because it was literally going through my head earlier today when I was watching the roaming cook on YouTube, who is literally traveling right now in Southeast Asia. And yeah, I was just like, ooh, I could definitely do that. Really could do that. If you've got any thoughts of how to make that sort of more into a reality or whatever, Xenon, hit me up in Discord or whatever. Wow, I'm coming in high over here. Snoop Dogg would be feeling challenged right now. That's how high above the runway I am. God, I love the stopping power of this plane. It just... You can literally pull this thing up and get this thing off anywhere. There's a sentence and a half. You can pull it up and get it off anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, the Trinidad TB21GT. Bloody hell. If it's only $17, Oscar, it sounds like it might be on the cards, that's for sure. Yeah, nice landing. A little bit floaty, Xenon, a little bit off centre line. But I'll take it, considering how high above the runway I was there. Have you got Stormworks as well? Common sense. Geez, now I feel like I'm behind the times. Where is my other yoke? I only ever had the Airbus Thrustmaster. I was gonna buy a Turtle Beach before I went and worked as a head chef full time. Have I made it in time, Garwin? I probably haven't, because he stopped talking in the channel. And it's 7 minutes past 12, and I think he was starting at the top of the hour. Yeah, Jacko has the Honeycomb Alpha. I want to get it, but all in due time, you know? All in due time. Alright, there we go. So that was one of the first World Adventure flights we've done in a long time where nobody actually joined the flight. And, I must say, not actually a bad thing. That was really, really, really different, interesting. It was more of a reliance on the chat to, you know, interact with you guys. Actually didn't mind that, but please, if you do want to join in one of the next flights, guys, absolutely 100% jump in. If you pop in !Discord, !Flight Plan into the chat, you can get all the various
Hail to the king, baby.
Information that you need. For those who are interested in checking out Garwin's VR stream, there's the link to his channel. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here on leg 125 from Mexico City here to Acapulco. Welcome to Acapulco. The weather looks a bit questionable. If you did enjoy that flight as much as I did, please do consider liking the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do consider doing that as well. Otherwise, guys, thank you very much for coming along. As I said, wherever you are in the world, you make sure that you look after yourselves, stay safe, stay well. Make sure that you do not do anyone that I wouldn't do. Not that that's saying much, because the standards are not, you know. Anyway, that's a conversation for another time. Guys, have a good one. And I'll catch you all in the next stream.
talking to each other. I know we feel the same about the situation, like we're stuck inside a game. Time to get out of this circle, yeah, we both carry a scar. Let's rewrite the part we're playing, time to cherish who we are. The only thing I ever wanted starts with us taking the chance. Not like anything we've done before, yeah. Now it's time for something better, and time for us to follow our dreams. No, we can't stay no more, Come run away